All praise created nobody else. So what we're gonna do here is roll the footage. That's what we're gonna do. All right. So we're gonna roll the footage and let y'all see this video. That should be a real good lesson that I wanted you guys. So again, all praise to creator, nobody else. Keep it to the lesson. And of course, if you know my link, then go back and share it on the page where I told folks I can go live tonight so they can also see and learn what you're gonna see. And as I told you, I explained many times that the devil's coming. It's going to be the devil's king for a very short period of time. And then the crazy going to send a good army, and that the King James Version doesn't tell you everything. And there's a way to decode that book, which we have been successful doing that. And so people that watch my channel and many others know that the devil's coming. And when it says his kingdom coming, it's not talking about the creator's kingdom yet. The devil's kingdom is coming first. He's going to do a lot of fucked up shit, and the creator then will send an army to destroy the devil, all his minions, and anyone that gets down with him and takes the mark of the beast. I think by now we know who or what the mark of the beast is, and I think that there is no point of really talking about it besides calling it the mark, because that's what it is. And especially since they want to censor everything, they'll just simply use the Bible terms. This way they can't stop it because they can't go against that. Um, I did some videos that is still uploading. You will see where a lot of laws in past, 17 executive orders in past, and a lot of stuff going on. And you will see the two videos that will upload. And I have another one coming out for you, Hidden Hebrews #2, from that brother who's been uh, giving us a lot of good history. So we'll be showing his video as well. And of course, y'all know this guy's video. Y'all know him. So, of course, I find out. I try to get the best videos that I can show to teach our lessons. And of course, I read from older books. And I also, we have plenty of times break down King James Versions, Bible, and other books. Key is, of course, to know the hijacks, which is why on this channel, the hijacks get exposed for a good reason so that you don't fall from it. When you read the hijack, you automatically know that that is wrong. So hopefully people are paying attention. Hopefully people are listening. Um, and with that said, let's go ahead and roll the video. Others will join like they usually do. Let's go. And I'm gonna get out the screen in a second. In fact, let me go like this. I'm gonna get out the screen.
What are you and God gonna do? This is justice. The devil's greatest trick was convincing the world he didn't exist. Baby! Yeah! The devil's greatest trick was convincing the world he didn't exist. Oh, there's so many names. The the evolution of the human genome. Where's Azazel? We don't want the colonel to be late. Come in.
Moreover, Azazel taught men to make swords. Knives, shields, breastplates. The fabrication of mirrors and the workmanship of bracelets and ornaments. The use of paint. The beautifying of the eyebrows. The use of stones of every valuable and select kind. And of all sorts of dyes, so that the world be better. Impiety increased, fornication multiplied, and they corrupted all their ways.
You know, we care too much about what others think, about our appearance, our behavior, and I did not realize that I was one of those people. And you know what? I am human at the end of the day. Until Azazel to invocate me for 7 days every single night. And I must say, I invocate a lot and I immediately get results. But with Azazel, he was quiet, the son, and I kept asking, I kept asking him, why, if you called me, are you so quiet? And I never got okay. But as I kept going at it, from the fourth day, he started showing me things and revealing things to me. I noticed during the 7 days, I was discovering parts of me that I would put aside, and Azazel was showing me that even though he did not speak to me and reveal himself for the first 3 days, that he was actually that he was so near me and was shifting my psyche and my being, so that I can also stop and break down the walls that I placed before me.
And in the second week of the 10th Jubilee, Mahalal took unto him to wife Dinah, the daughter of Berechiel, the daughter of his father's brother. And she bare him a son in the 3rd week in the 6th year. And he called his name Jared from the earth. Those who are named the watchers, that they should instruct the children of men, and they should do judgment and uprightness on the earth. So the watchers and angels were sent to teach men uprightness and judgment. And in the days of Jared, they descended on earth with this assignment. Now, like on earth, these angelic hosts became corrupt. And Enoch answered and said, the Elohim will affect to leave the earth. But in the generations of Jared, my father, those who were from heaven disregarded the word of Elohim. Behold, they committed crimes, laid aside their class, and intermingled with women, With them also they transgressed, married with them, and begot children.
None of the exorcism years. That was my boy. You understand? You're the only one that didn't have a family. How would you feel if I killed your family? Oh, that's right. I forgot I did. Still, don't make it right.
Thou hast seen what Azael has done, how he has taught every soul to the world all the secret things which are done in the heavens.
Not a peep, nothing through that back channel.
What is that? What I need is a leader. Oh, I've already got my army. Or I will. Soon. Anyway, I'm surprised you hadn't guessed they weren't strong enough. I'm looking for the best and brightest of your generation.
Sometimes we can all sabotage ourselves. Sometimes it can cause poverty and depression. But if we learn to embrace ourselves who we truly are, we open the door to great possibilities. We are saying, I am now the God. As also showed me that we are all gods and desire to help us see this. During this process, I allow people to see and I did things I always desired to do and I felt great about it. Um, let me just add that I was looking great. My food and people would and are still walking up to me just to let me know how beautiful I am. And I looked in the mirror and I thought, okay.
Then Enoch, passing on, said to Azael, You shall not obtain peace. A great sentence is gone forth against you. He shall bind you. Relief, mercy, and supplication be yours, on account of the oppression which you have taught.
I know your word. I'm sorry. But please don't let us die too.
Blasphemy, tyranny, and sin which you have discovered to the children of men.
Jake, I needed the strongest, and that's you. Oh, shocked at this unforeseen turn of events. Go ahead, Jake, squeeze that trigger. Be all you can be. Of course, the army won't take you back because you're AWOL. But then on the other hand, the rest of your life, money and honey, health and wealth, every day is ice cream Sunday, and all you gotta do is this one little thing. What do you say? It's your call. And
his voice is very raspy. This is how I heard it. He got a very raspy voice, and it sounds kind of strange. But that's how I heard it. And
Azazel?
Become very intimate with the spirits that we call on regularly, right? Like each of them seems to have presence and personality. I laugh a lot with Waukesha, and I didn't meet her in her body, right? I met her through this work.
It's a very important practice.
hashtags are for us are way more than a hashtag. It is literally almost resurrecting spirit so they can look through us. Personally connected and responsible and accountable to them. Both from a deeply political place, but also from a deeply spiritual place. You know, and my tradition, you offer things that your loved one who passed would want, you know, whether it's like honey or tobacco, that, and that's, it's so important, not just for us to be in direct relationships.
Hold on, y'all. See, is the people who've been calling out to the names closer to these entities. I feel more intimate with the entities they are calling on, as you said, as Cece said, which is called a soul tie, or also a form of sexual sin, as in cheating, adultery on the Most High. So that's what is happening, and they're describing these beings as if they're great. And they feel these beings are great because they are greatly deceived. You hear the lady say, some, I guess a female demon, because that's what they are. Y'all call them what y'all want, was making her laugh. The other one describes the head, well, I think he's like the second one. Either the head devil in command or he's the second devil in command. And it's that person end of the E. She's talking about how he was showing her things and it started to change her. So this is a clear sign that none of us have no business calling out on the names, because all names are wrong. Very well documented, and the evidence is there if you look for it. Plenty have seen this on some of our old channels, the same old channels that one they took down that had 700 and some subscribers, and then my other channels, all 6 of those, they blocked me from even getting on them, to the point that they actually knocked off my old Google account that I had to create more Google accounts because they would get mad at the truth that was going forward. So this is what these people will do when they don't like what you're saying, as we already know. And it is wrong to be saying the names, because even all the prophets' names in that King James Bible and some other books are wrong. You will find, if you do the research on the prophets' names, that you will find 2 or 3 more names that they saying is their names. The same way they gave you Isaiah, John the Baptist, Prester John, King David, and AKA Sons Enoch. And they tricked you with King's Enoch, and also tricked you with Mr. J. Because those 2 names would be the ultimate hijack. King's Enoch and the Mr. J. And many other names they gave you. But see how they took one prophet, and the prophet had 5 names. And then on top of that, they give you a King's Enoch to give him the credit of everything the real prophet did. And the real prophet never rose from the dead and never said that he would. The false prophet, Mr. J, said that he would, and that is the same person that Paul of Tarsus was pushing around the world, pushing that lie, the good gospel of Mr. J, to the point that they kidnapped one of our own people as a child along their raids when they came to take us back as slaves, as many of us freed the Spaniards of Portugal, because they wanted us to become Christians. And many of us went all around the road, including America, which is really called Turtle Island, which is actually really Africa. And it seems there are many parts that are Africa as well, just like there are parts that are, you know, Egypt. So many parts of the world is Africa and Egypt. And they didn't tell you that. That does go back to when all the earth was all together, all the crust was together. That was that. You have to look into that. So we have to start paying attention and start doing more research as well. But I don't want to get too much into that because, as you know, I'll go very deep and I'll be here for 30 minutes talking about one subject instead of getting a video done. And this video is an hour, so we definitely want to get through this video. So let's keep paying attention. But you are not to be serving these doubles as you see they're doing. And just listen how they prescribe, they're prescribing these doubles. And you see it's wrong because it comes behind it is scripture, and then of course a clip that they literally showed you. They showed us in many ways possible, although a lot of us didn't catch it to awoke, that the devil's coming before the creator. Many of you say the devil is already here. Well, the devil's still trapped until that day. And that's the day the devil feels that he gets to do judgment. And he's definitely going to come down here and do some messed up stuff. Why is the creator allowing it? Because of the sins of men. I asked the creator that many times. And that's the answer I get. Okay? So that's what it is. And I read scriptures. Scriptures say the same thing. And that is the deal that the devil and the creator has. Because when the devil was good, he was supposed to what? Set a man to do the right thing and judge. Because he was supposed to be a righteous. But the devil turned bad. And when the devil turned bad, the devil had his own agenda. And that agenda played out as the creator had seen it, and of course issued a punishment. So yes, the devil's minions and many of his children, entities are on the earth, inside the earth, coming to and fro as they please. But the head devil and his three buddies are trapped. But soon, very soon, as you hear the Khazarians, those fake Jews, keep saying, and all by the way, that Jew name is actually pagan. It's supposed to be children of the light. That's why they won't call themselves that, and no, they're not. Nor are they the chosen people. Cohort facts, you can look that up. As I said many times in a book, King James Bible tells you that we were black, and we still are black, and we are not lost. We're scattered all around the world, just like the Creator said. Okay, so let's keep going, because like I said, I'll go off track, which I don't want to do tonight. Because over here is 7 already.
People who pass to prevent it.
Then I spoke to them all together, and they all became terrified and trembled. Now, just believing in one God is not enough to redeem one. This is why James says in James 2:19-20, thou believe God, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. For what thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead.
Our Father who art in heaven, blah blah. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. True religion is for us. But sometimes it seems as if it's difficult. Sometimes I feel, in a very literal sense, that I have been wandering the desert for years. My policy is a jail. Your dad put him there.
It was a very powerful dream. And the only one more powerful than him is Father Satan, one of his main demons. Okay? And you can work with the one that says that. Okay? Or you Christians out there who work with Saint Michael, you know, this would be a good for Saint Michael. Instead of working with Saint Michael, try working with the Lord on Azazel.
You wanted something more, believe me.
Look behind you, just keep going.
Keep punishing yourself, Kevin. It's how far you've come. I didn't make it.
He of little faith, because I finally found him, or at least, the spot where his cage door opens. It's right here. In a damn convent, for God's sake. Then, yeah, I suppose it makes sense. Or was. Any of you guys?
Now, what sparked the interest on this particular study was studying these two particular verses. It reads, Leviticus 16:7, and he shall take the two goats and present them before the Elohim at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron shall cast lots upon the two goats, and one lot for Elohim, and the other lot for the scapegoat. Of scapegoat
The devil.
is
The devil.
so scapegoat in the strongest concordance is a boat of departure, the scapegoat, and it occurs 4 times in the King James, and the name is Azael. Interesting.
You know about Azazel already from your Bible, I'm sure, because he was the demon who has the goat. Okay.
Look at all. Just so happy to share that devil in you.
And I'm not gonna get into it too much, but the goat symbolizes the opposite of what a sheep would symbolize, right? Being headstrong, okay? And aspect of Lord Azazel, and that's him with the swords, because he taught humanity how to make swords and weapons to defend themselves. He taught us self-defense. He taught us martial arts. The one comes from Lord Azazel.
Now, for the annual feast day, the Doman, the high priest would put his hands on the head of a live goat and confess over it all the iniquities of the people of Yasharal and all their transgressions, all their sins, and send it away into the wilderness by the hand of a strong man.
and the goat would bear all the iniquities unto itself in a remote area, and he shall go free in the wilderness. Now, this opinion, but it seems to suggest that the two, one was the goat of the Most High, and the other goat was the scapegoat, and who all the sins were subscribed unto, and was led into the wilderness. And we know that Yahushua lived a sinless life and died for the sins of his people.
No, he did not. That's a lie.
The scapegoat
don't fall for that hijack, y'all. That's a hijack right there.
Of all those people who have decided not to accept.
They had to say that hijack.
Oh. Or, well, in the last day, Azrael and his angels take on the plethora of sins that they have enticed and encouraged, and pay the penalty entirely.
Sold their souls.
To Michael likewise the Elohim said, go and announce his crime to Samyaza and to the others who are with him, who are being associated with women, that they might be polluted with all their impurity. And when all their sons shall be slain, when they shall see the perdition of their beloved, bind them for 70 generations under the earth, even
Antarctica, how they go down to
to the day
Antarctica
of
all the
judgment
time.
and of consummation, until the judgment, the effect of which will last forever, be completed.
What? What are you and God gonna do? See, as far as I'm concerned.
I want double stay because he's playing a double in this movie. Or really, it's not a movie clip. He's playing a double in it.
Exorcism years. That was my daughter.
I told you double has kids. Remember I told y'all that?
That was my boy. You understand? You're the only that can have a family. How would you feel if I killed your family? Oh, that's right. I forgot I did. Still, too wrong. Don't make it right.
All the earth has been corrupted by the effects of the teaching of Azrael. To him, therefore, ascribe the whole Enoch 10, verse 12.
Now, hold up, here. The leader, according to Enoch, was Samyaza, not Azrael. So how come you're calling the leader? Now, Christian, based on the fact that Azrael is given the whole blame for the rebellion, which would imply that he was also Samyaza, the leader, because Samyaza simply means I have seen, and he was one of the first who became lustful towards the daughters of men and swore a covenant which all the other angels agreed to. It happened after the sons of men had multiplied in those days that daughters were born to them and beautiful. And when the angels, the sons of heaven, beheld them, they became enamored of them, saying to each other, come, let us select for ourselves wives from the progeny of men, and let us They get children. Then their leader Samyaza said to them, I fear that you may perhaps be indisposed to the performance of this enterprise, and that I alone shall suffer this a crime. But they answered him and said, we all swear. "200 who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon, and they called it house by mutual imprecations upon it."
See all the stars? The stars represent the fallen ones, the rebellion, the rebels, okay, and the
We
weapons
know
of
from
war.
ancient legend of the books of Enoch that there was a group of angels who descended
Descended to the earth. That's in your King James Version Bible as well. Descended to the earth and took women.
to earth in violation of divine law. They introduced to humanity ways, means, knowledge, which we would understand today as science and technology. These angels were in uniform. They were called in Hebrew Ishi, which means men. They looked
Looked like a man.
just like us.
Now, ironically, this once well-known truth in the antediluvian world has been overlooked in this modern age. The fact that angels appeared at times like men. Just to bring clarity in a few witnesses, let's take a look at the story when the two angels went to visit Lot in Sodom, but appeared to the population as men. And the account in the book of Daniel when Gabriel is described as a man. And lastly, Tobit entertained Raphael unawares, who he assumed was a man. Could this be the reason why Paul, under inspiration in Hebrews 13, verse 2, said, be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained unawares? Even Paul was once mistaken for an angel or a lowercase god. Same heard Paul speak, who said with a loud voice, stand upright. Paul had gone. They lifted up their voices, saying the speech of Laconia, and they called Barnabas Jupiter and Paul Jupiter, which was before.
Paul put that in there. There were miracles that were done, and it was not done in the devil's name. And Mr. J did not do any miracles. The Creator is the only one that has done miracles, and the Creator has used the prophets to do them. Oh, and they did depict so-called King David, so-called Pastor John, so-called Elijah, so-called John the Baptist, and since Enoch as a as what he's saying. They depicted him to be. They really did. And they was not supposed to do that. Proof of this, if you look at the Mardi Gras, some of our own people marched down the street in a parade with a black king statue.
My name is Raymond Tour, and as I mentioned, I am CEO and founder.
Okay, so what did they just do? Hold on, y'all. Hold on 1 second. I see what they just did. Let me take it quick first. They think they switched. They switched the channel on me like they did before. Remember the last time they did that? So that's what they just did. There we go. Right, hold on, here we go. Whoa. Hold on, we gotta. Wait 1 second, y'all. No. Okay. All right. Let's see what's going on. All right, hold on, y'all. They're over here. Listen around. All right, here we go. I finally got right to get to. Come on. All right, just 1 second. Just wait a minute. Okay, here we go. That was crazy. Now we'll be back on track in a second. Just gotta go back into we was watching real quick. There we go. Back at it. Uh-huh. Really did that. Okay, so we'll continue where we left off. Let me pause it real quick for a second. Get back on camera. That does this thing. So, oh, goodness gracious. All right. So far we learned that these guys like to, they idol worshiping. And there's evidence of way too much. Well, there shouldn't be no idol worship going on in the first place, but there's way too much evidence of idol worship. And these people are literally talking to the devil. And they're happy. And they're literally telling people to do it. How you doing, Joshua? So silly. So anyhow, I wonder who the hell would say something like that. And this is a sad thing that this is going on, and all because of this, the devil gets to come down and do fucked up shit. Because that's what's gonna happen. And they keep on giving all the praise to devils and all these names with these soul ties instead of praising the creator only. And no matter how much you describe the creator to them as what the creator is, I came all falling down. What's going on today? Okay. Camera start falling and stuff. Alright, so 1 second. Let me see where we're at now. Okay, so we're going to continue this lesson real quick. But I have to say that also on others I showed, there's a lot of more information. And it's definitely time for everybody to start getting prepared. Things are definitely about to go down in these upcoming days. I'm not sure exactly when, but definitely soon. And this whole Trump Biden thing is not over yet. There's a lot of stuff that they're hiding. They don't want people to know. What's going on. So you'll see some things in the video. And anybody that seen the other live, that was tons of information about what's really going on. And hopefully people now really understand why I was telling people to go or be prepared to go to wilderness, be prepared in general, period, but mainly be prepared with the Creator, because the only one that can save you is the Creator. The Bible, King James Version, and other books, older books, as will tell you that no one or no man can die for your sin. So when it comes to the when they stole from us, who was a black young boy, as they all call us, one of our people, the Pope and the Christian Pope trained him on Christianity as a baby until they raised him to about 7 years old. At 7 years old, he could teach their Christianity better than them. And that's why the Bible says they were astounded. And when he got older, they did give him a lot of authority and an army. And he led many of our own people against us, brother against brother, son against son, father against father, right? Against us. And was kidnapping us, enslaving us, bringing us back to Portugal, where we have fled from, all because we did not want to indulge in that Christianity. And of course, as you know, that Mr. J and all these world religions, as many of you should already know by now, was beaten to us in slavery. And they used the woman. When I say that, it's not talking trash. I say it because they use women as far as women would try to protect her children. So they would trick her and say things like, if you could teach, and they put into law too, if you could teach, or if your kids can actually read and know their religion, because they want people to adapt to the religion, then we would spare your child. So after a while, once they got folks to agree in the religion and they could see the folks could read it, they turned it into law because it became dangerous because now people started understanding what they were reading, like the Bible. So they changed the law where if they knew you could read, if you was a slave, or really you were a prisoner of war, but they called the slaves, or indentured servant, then they have the right to kill you. And that's exactly what they did. So they tricked the poor mother into thinking she was going to save her children. And they made her hand her child wide over before I didn't realize that was going to go down, because she could not see the future of what the end result was looking for. And they always tried to go the back door way. With the man, they just simply tried to kill him, bind him. That's why I said bind the strong man. You bind a strong man and you use the woman against him by tricking her. And it's the oldest trick in the book, divide and conquer. All right. I don't know who said if you're real, you see your face, but everybody knows you're real, so you shouldn't be even saying that. The reason I take myself off camera is so that everybody can focus on the camera, which they should do. They should focus on what's going on with the lesson. So let me get back off and get my face off of this, because it's an hour long. We are 25 minutes into this. I have about 30 to 35 minutes left. Let's watch this video. Go ahead and put it back up for y'all. Let's see. Bam, there we go. All right, get ready to rock and roll, y'all. It's about to pop up. And there we have it. And here we are. Okay, great minute to start going.
The city brought oxen and garlands onto the gates and would have done sacrifice to the people. The apostles Barnabas and Paul heard of, they rent their clothes and ran in among the people, crying out and saying, Sirs, why do you do these things? We also are men of like passions with you, and preach unto you, you should turn from these vanities unto the living Yah, which made heaven and earth and the seas and all the things therein, the past time suffered all nations to walk in their own ways, nevertheless he left not himself without witness, in that he did good and gave us rain from heaven, and fruitful seasons, filling our hearts with food and gladness. And with these sayings, scarce restrained they the people, but they had not done sacrifice unto them. Interesting.
And then, when exaggerating the point regarding false doctrine, perhaps taking inspiration from the deception of the angels in the flood world in Enoch's day, he said, "But though we are an angel from heaven, preach any other Bazora unto you than that preached unto you, let him be accursed."
They shake hands with Lucifer. They know who he is, and Lucifer appears in many different personifications on earth. He appears as a man, he appears as a woman. He can appear as any type of being he wants to.
Syrian Arabic. How clever.
I do know who you are.
Well, some things, Hal, you should know.
Like what? Like what?
If you know, you should never ever tell.
Where am I at?
Then they took wives, each choosing for himself, whom they began to approach, and with whom they cohabited, teaching them sorcery, incantations, and dividing of roots, trees, and the women conceiving brought forth
witchcraft,
giants.
ceremonies, certain ceremonies, spells, curses, all types of stuff. Enrolled.
Images of archaeological digs from all over the earth. That's Egyptian, Mayan, Sumerian, Babylonian, that's Hawaiian at the end, and Mesopotamian. These are ancient civilizations. Separated by centuries, they shared no contact with one another, and yet the same pictogram showing men worshipping giant beings pointing to the stars was discovered in every last one.
Serving the devils. Serving the devils. He's coming down to cast the judgment on the people. Why?
Whose stature was each 300 cubits.
And his world religion.
These devoured all which men produced until it became impossible to feed them, when they turned themselves against men in order to devour them.
There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty which were of old, men of renown. And I like the way it says there were giants in the earth in those days, talking about in Noah's day. And then it also says after that.
Still
And
today.
It reaffirms this in the same verse by saying the same became mighty men which were of old. Interesting.
And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which come of the giants. And we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. This was centuries after the flood, after the patriarchs, and Moshe, during the time of Caleb and Joshua. And they're saying that the inhabitants were so large that they made them feel insignificant grasshoppers. First Samuel 17, verse 4. And there went out a champion out to the camp of the Philistines, named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. Now you might be wondering, how is it they've gone from a span? Well, there is a
6 feet and change.
reason for that. Many say that the flood brought about a change in the atmosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere, thus limiting the size of the post-flood giants.
One of the most amazing things about the body is
this is important because this actually.
And if you look at astronauts who go into space, they actually grow about 2 or. When you have a human that's born on Mars, what's going to happen is the environment will change the structure of the human body. In a few generations, is humans that are taller and skinnier because the gravity on Mars is less than that of Earth.
If humans evolve long enough on the planet Mars, they could grow to be taller, they have the bigger head, they have the spindly limbs, they could also end up with representations of angels and various other godlike beings that we've read about in the Bible and other ancient documents.
Now, what most people don't know is Goliath also had children, and these children used to terrorize Yasharal, and they were all eventually put to death by Yasharal, who were called to be the Most High's battle axe. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee we can pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms.
This will happen again. Last battle between good and evil. We all get free. As the Creator frees us, we all to be completely free. After we're free, when we fight off some things that are coming, we will be the best. We destroy the devil, all his children, and anyone that got down with him. But also, don't forget to find brimstone.
2 Samuel 1 verse 20. And there was yet a great battle in Gath, where was a man of great stature, that had on every hand 6 fingers, and on every foot 6 toes, 24 in number. And he also was born to the giant, referring to Goliath. And when he defied Israel, Jonathan the son of Chima, the brother of David, slew him. These 4 were born to the giant in Gath, and fell by the hand of David, and by the hand of his servants. And while
I find funny is how the truth can come from the most unusual places.
Now, growing up, I used to watch this cartoon called Smurfs about a giant by the name of Gargamel. And if you know anything about
What was that one?
So then, who was your celebrities? Who was your celebrities?
Now, Gargamel was a giant who was obsessed with eating the
Be frightened. I'm terribly sorry about this. Yeah. All that sickening sweetness makes me rash. Yeah. 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 Come on, sweetheart. Now we must prepare for our next good deed.
Now, did you catch the cat's name?
Come on, sweetheart.
The earth shall be cleansed from all corruption, from every crime, from all punishment, and from all good. Neither will I again send the loon from generation to generation. And interestingly, we know that the earth will be purified the second time by fire. 2 Peter 3 verse 10. For the day of Elohim shall come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the water therein shall be burned up. According to Yahushua, who was the everlasting fire, originally intended and prepared for man shall go in, and all the nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, then he shall say unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. What is thy name?
My name is Send us not away, my
Now the fallen angels who are antagonistic towards humanity, the legion. You also had other angels in Yahushua's day who would deceive humanity via miracles.
began to worship. For an angel went down at a certain season into the pool and troubled the water. Whosoever then first after the troubling of the waters, and we know in the last days the spirit of devils will be working miracles to convince, mislead, and misdirect again. And in the great day of judgment, let him be cast out into the fire. Restore the earth which the angels have corrupted. Counts life to it, that I may. But the heavens and the earth which are now by the same word affected, henceforth reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly.
And to like makeup, I know I do, and to beautify yourself. That also comes from Lord Abraham. Because he helps humankind. And I called on Lord Azazel today to help me with my beauty routine. And look how fabulous my hair came out and my makeup. And that's thanks to Lord Azazel. Bless my efforts because I called on him first.
Vanity. Heaven is so basic. Self-love. We're all natural procreators.
12 years old, I signed a deal with Satan in my room, and I was there.
CBS doesn't condone this.
Wait a minute. Because I wanted to get famous no matter what, and then I forgot that I had this deal with Satan and everything, and then I got really famous. And then one day I had this tragic singing accident at the.
Yes, I remember that.
I realized. Yeah, that Satan was come for my soul. So, yeah, he wanted me to pay up. So, Satan is to dinner at Spago.
He's there most nights, but you
pray. Oh, because I guess I want to ask you, who do you pray to?
I pray to everyone. How you doing? This is so much fun. All these gorgeous men. Have you gotten any action? I'm getting right now. Are you in a relationship with God? You are? No, actually, no. That's right. I'm in a relationship with Satan. We love Satan.
I honestly did not realize how much I knew myself until I invocated Azazel. This is also a great testimony for me to encourage everyone to not be afraid. They won't, but yeah. But they will help you see yourself as the amazing person you are. Let us show and be an example to all that every ancient God comes with its own quality. And those qualities and gifts can truly improve your own life.
Hear her. They actually believe that shit too. Still don't hide it, huh?
Now, in light of everything we've just watched, check out this following clip regarding the opening of a tunnel in Switzerland affiliated with CERN, which had world leaders in attendance. And pay attention to the bizarre performance. Here we see a boat like this. Here we see a reenactment of the fallen angels mingling, and most bizarrely, some out of it reminiscent of angelic.
Buffering. So we're gonna do for a second is
This whole performance is satanic and occultic retelling of the story of the angelic flow.
okay. Let's successfully pause it. Back on screen yet? I'm back on screen. Okay, so now you see these guys and people, a lot of people, have been serving the devil in secret, and there's a lot obviously doing the videos teaching others that serving the devil is supposed to be something that they're trying to convince the people to do, which we know is a bad thing. So, and because of that, they are attached to this entity who's coming and fooled to think that the creator's coming back in the physical when the creator already said that the creator's not physical. The creator said the heavens are the heavens, that the heavens could not hold him and it couldn't maintain him. So that couldn't maintain him. He already asked the question, why would he enter a house that he built? It wouldn't happen, because if the heavens of the heavens can't maintain him, then surely when a body definitely could not maintain him. If he even tried that, a body would be destroyed. It wouldn't happen. So it's not possible. So anything physical that has the audacity, and I'll use that word lightly, I mean it strongly, audacity, to claim to be something that they're not. That's something our people should be listening to. So with that said, let's keep rolling this footage real quick. I'm gonna take myself off the screen. The guy they had there with the goat, and I showed you the video.
Led by Isaac. Is it interesting? So the future coming judgment is a fire, which was originally intended for Azael and Samielza the ringleader, and his angels, those who joined in his rebellion against the Most High, and also now includes the ungodly of mankind, who will be burnt up with the eternal fire. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Elohim of hosts. It shall leave them neither root nor branch. It shall leave them neither root nor branch. It shall leave them no branch. It shall leave them neither root nor branch.
Things Ronnie is known for is inventing the devil horns, the most enduring symbol of heavy metal culture.
I'm of Italian extract. And my grandmother, my grandfather, on both sides of both my mother's and father's side, came to America from Italy, and they had to always see my grandmother when I was a little kid, with her holding my hand and walking down the street. She would see someone and go, "What's that?" And eventually learned that it was called the Maloik. And the Maloik was someone's giving us the evil eye. It's giving you protection against the evil eye. Or you can give someone the evil eye too. So invent it, no. What, perfect it and make it important, yes, because I within the confines of that great band Sabbath, which had this incredible name already, you put that together with what people think it is. But for me, because I'm lucky enough to kind of just have done it so much, it's been more equated with me than anyone else. Although Gene Simmons would say that he invented it, but then again, Gene invented breathing and shoes and
God, we all know the best there are a lot of spend rock here and chase pain, but we all take them with this hand gesture right here. Well, Gene Simmons is now claiming the ownership of that signal, saying he was the first person to use it back in 1974. He submitted this sketch to be patent and trademark office, along with the note, no other person, firm, corporation, or association has the right to said mark in commerce, either in the identical form or in such mere resemblance. Now, social media, of course, specifically people are pointing out that this gesture is a lot like I love you in sign language. That's what Will's saying. Called American Sign Language, and it is not yours. Now that
close. Okay, let me freeze that. Give it for a second. I'm gonna do a spin. Hold on, y'all. You don't even want nobody to hear none of this stuff. So a lot of folks into rock and roll. Now they do that. Rap and R&B artists doing it too, and people copy them in the concerts, doing it, thinking it means something else, not realizing what they doing. And the devil don't care if you worship him in ignorance, because all that matters is that he gets you to do it. So you have to start learning all the hijacks, not falling for the hijacks. It was clear as day what the devil did and how he got all these people doing it. We're gonna let this video go for a couple of minutes, and then we're gonna set it off.
people on Twitter, should people be able to trademark a simple hand gesture? 95%. It's a non-starter, I guess, right? The decision online seems clear, but Simmons has to wait to see if this all works out in his favor. His application will get assigned an examiner in the next few months.
This is the sign of the horn. A curse sign, with two fingers extended. This way spread apart for sort of blast. You have to be bad to be good. Is it true that you teach people how to make voodoo dolls with 6 pins in them to hurt people? That's right. I believe that hate is necessary in a controlled way just as much as love is necessary.
What's this? Christmas present. But first, you gotta take the oath. Oh. Okay. That's it. That oath the real thing. Totally. Definitely good job.
Come on. What did you expect?
In any case, I hope this short study has made you see there is a spiritual warfare that is being physically felt. Even Elisha had to remind his servants that there was a spiritual war that was being physically felt. And Elisha prayed, open his eyes, and he looked. And he saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. For we wrestle not against, but against principalities, against powers, the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness.
Oh, but
So that thing they do is also an oath. It's also they are because they show you who they dealing with or who they represent in that oath that they already had took before they actually obviously became famous It didn't matter if they signed on the dotted line before they did it, they still eventually did it because at that point they already known that they sold out and it really was no way out of it. So the only thing they felt they could do is bow down to the devil. They could have tried to go to Creator, hope the Creator would have had mercy on them. But as you know, when you make the deal with the devil, he comes to collect, which is why I've been warning all of you about soul ties and saying those names and all these world religions and the camps, congregations.
The Constitution of the United States that you are also a practicing Satanist. Not in the least. The Army is known as my religion for the last 20 years. There has never been a problem with it, any more than there is a problem with other members of minority religion. But let me read from the Satanic Book. This is the number one commandment. Death to the weakling, wealth to the strong. How can you believe this and still uphold the Constitution of the United States? Death to the weakling? This is Dr. Walter Grote, whose daughter was allegedly abused at West Point, the United States Military Academy. You were a captain in the United States Army. Aside from what allegedly happened to your daughter, which you allege was part of a satanic cult, and having nothing to do with this man, I state again for the record. What is your feeling, sir, on the fact that a serving officer in the United States Army is also a professed Satanist, a high-ranking person? I find it inconceivable that we have candidates talking about one nation under God and having our children say that, yet by the same token, we can have somebody in our army as a colonel leading our troops in battle who are opposed to the very concept of God and whose whole purpose it is to fight against God.
I'm Katie Buckwood. I'm the Rare Books and Special Collections Librarian here at the Royal College of Physicians, and I'm the... John Dee was one of Tudor England's most extraordinary and enigmatic figures. He was an outstanding polymath interested in a very great number of branches of learning. He advised Queen Elizabeth and her court on a range of subjects, including navigation and medicine. He contrived to try and speak with angels via a medium called Edward Kelly, contrived to try and speak with angels via a medium called Edward Kelly, and he also wrote treatises on mathematics, astrology, and other topics. It might seem a bit of a surprise that an institution like the Royal College of Physicians has a library of books belonging to someone like John Dee.
But I think this is one of the great questions in physics and philosophy. Where are the aliens? Maybe they're among us. I don't know.
The devil is alive and well and working overtime to undermine the Roman Catholic Church. Well, blaming is a defense mechanism, but blaming the devil for abuse is a convenient excuse. Let's give you the context. The Pope has blamed the devil for church scandals that have rocked the Christian world. He is now seeking angels' help. He is so sure that he has asked Catholics around the world to recite a special prayer every day in October to try to beat the devil back. Take a look at this report.
Allegations of sex abuse against priests have rattled the world and shaken the faith of millions of Christians. But instead of addressing the issue at hand, Pope Francis has blamed the devil and asked the people to pray.
It's going to be a great day of judgment, not only for humanity, but for the angelic host. For if you spare not the angel that sinned, or cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness,
To Crowley, infamous Satanist, once said, "Today they call them angels and demons. Tomorrow they will call them
aliens."
else."
I have no doubt that angelic beings are here growing up. My movement has now grown to understand that the term aliens, the truly the fallen angels, they are energy beings living home, the heavenly realm. Fallen angels astral projecting as what we call alien entities, alien beings taking on myriad forms, projecting the human psyche. So my view on that is that these are fallen angels manipulating the depths of human emotions. They have a pretty good knowledge of us, as we pretty much do of the animal kingdom, because their level of perception abilities in human consciousness has permeated human life and the plant kingdom.
So this, of course, triggers a lot of alarm. One of the guys who talks about this is Elon, who says things like this, like, when you do this, just like a guy in the stories, that when you do this, you're going to put that little guy in a pentagram, and you're going to wave it at the thing, and by God, it's going to do exactly what you say and not one thing more, but it never works out that way. So this is an attitude that some are having, this emerging alarmism about the way this is going to go. But these words, demons, doesn't capture the essence of what's happening.
Pause that for a second. The devil's plan, use a robot to them. Examples has already happened in China. Or I think it was China, inside a military base. They had done this, and 2 robots killed 25 to 30 troops before they actually could stop them and shut them down. And when they shut them down and took them apart, one of them started to rebuild itself better than they ever could, and stronger, at least into the cloud, as they say, which is part of the net, if y'all know what I'm talking about. So, unfortunately, this was happening, and they had to shut the whole system down. But yet they still are messing around with this stuff. So let's hear a little bit about this. Taught us on this a long time ago.
Here. I don't know if any of you are turn of the century weird fiction fans, but there's this guy named H.P. Lovecraft, who's a very famous American weird fiction writer. And he exposed a view which is called cosmicism. And the essencism is cosmic indifference. So what he was saying is basically, yes, there are these massively intelligent entities out there, but they're not good, they're not evil. They don't give a shit about you, even in the same way that you don't care about an ant, is they're not going to care about you. And these things that we're summoning into the world now are not demons, they're not evil, but they're more like the Lovecraftian great old ones. There are entities that are not necessarily going to be aligned with what we want. So this transition is really massively important for our entire species to be. Going back to that thing that Sam Harris was saying, nobody is paying attention. This thing is happening in what's going to be in the healthcare plan in the U.S. and underneath it all, that if we're not careful, is going to wipe us all out.
December the 8th.
You heard that? They keep playing around with this. And they're going to cause this stuff that the devil's telling them to. They're going to be a part of it.
2020, former Israeli space security chief says aliens exist, humanity not ready. This galactic federation has supposedly been in contact with Israel and the US for years, but are keeping himself a secret. He's ready. Know ye not that ye shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life?
The devil's obviously trying to stop what's going on, as you see, and that's why he has put forth his plan, and they're going full throttle with it. So with that said, all praise to the Most High. Hope you learned something from this lesson, and now you can definitely see that everything I've been telling you has been right on the money, and there's description there, so you can't say I'm just making things up, as of course I'll always show you proof when I'm talking. So therefore, since I already proven all this, and you're getting a good lesson on it, to further prove that you should only serve the Creator only and not these names, please do so. Until later, all praise the Most High, the Creator only, nobody else. Peace and love to everyone. Shalom, family.